You have never met the person sitting next to you on a train. You do not share their language. You do not share their history. And yet, if they told you they dreamed of falling last night, you would know exactly what that felt like. If they described a wise ancient figure appearing at their moment of greatest confusion, you would recognize it immediately. You have seen it before, in your own sleep, in every story that has ever moved you. Carl Jung spent his entire career trying to understand why. Jung was a Swiss psychiatrist in the early 20th century. He began as a student of Freud, but he kept noticing something Freud's model could not explain. His patients, people with no classical education, no knowledge of mythology, kept producing images in their dreams that matched ancient myths exactly. A woman dreaming of a sun god she had never heard of. A man describing symbols from Egyptian texts he had never read. A child drawing figures that appeared identically in cultures on the other side of the world. This could not be coincidence. It could not be learned. So Jung asked the only question that made sense. What if beneath everything we think and feel and remember, there is a layer of the unconscious we did not build, but inherited? What if every human being alive, across every culture, every language, every century, shares a single invisible ocean of memory? He called it the collective unconscious. Not your unconscious, not mine. Ours. Below your conscious mind is your personal unconscious, your private history, your buried memories. But below that, deeper than either, is something that belongs to no one in particular, and to all of us at once. Not filled with your memories, filled with patterns, shapes carved into the human mind over millions of years. Jung called these patterns archetypes. An archetype is not a story. It is the mold that stories are poured into. Every culture in human history, without exception, has produced the same hero story. A young person called away from the ordinary world, a descent into darkness, a transformation, a return carrying something the world needs. Hercules, Gilgamesh, Buddha, Christ, Luke Skywalker. The same story, told by people who never met, separated by thousands of years. Jung's explanation was not that one culture copied another. His explanation was that the hero, not the character, but the pattern, is already inside every human mind. Inherited, universal, waiting. And this is where it becomes personal. The archetypes are not just in ancient stories. They are active in your life right now. When you dream of falling, that is the collective unconscious speaking in a language every human who has ever lived has also heard. When a story moves you in a way you cannot explain, when a character feels like recognition rather than discovery, that is an archetype resonating. Something in the story touching something in the bedrock, something older than you, something shared. Jung believed this was not irrational. It was a sign that you were connected. Connected to every person who has ever stood at the edge of a decision they could not take back. Connected to every mind that has ever looked at the night sky and felt simultaneously insignificant and infinite. That feeling is not yours alone. It never was. The work Jung believed was essential, the work of a whole human life, was to become conscious of these patterns. Not to destroy them, not to suppress them, to see them, to name them, to choose how to live with them. He wrote, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes." The collective unconscious is not something outside you. It is the oldest part of you, connecting you invisibly, permanently, to every human being who has ever lived. It is speaking right now, in your dreams, in the stories you keep returning to, in the fears with no rational explanation. The only question is whether you are willing to listen. This is Philakimi. We will see you in the next one.